on the YouTubes. For the
Oh yeah, I can get that for you. Yeah.
And that's what Steve needs, because when he does how many people have attended, participated, and all that good stuff in those excellent charts we had at the beginning of tonight.
Yeah, so I think maxing out in the people on the Zoom call was around 4950. And so
Right.
far the YouTube has had 25 views.
Okay.
I think we had 84 on the first meeting at one
No,
point.
it was
more?
over 100, I think. I'll check, but
No, at one point it was just a touch in time. You told me we had 84, but that wasn't the latest data.
oh, I got you. Yeah.
So if we could keep that cumulative, especially from when we first started this, I know they are not all unique people, but it's still a significant number as it starts mounting.
Yeah, now mark it down.
Yeah, I don't know if they can track, that's an interesting question, if they can track individual watches and unique watches.
Mary's shaking her head, but it depends what systems you have. We should be able to do that if we want to.
I don't think you can track people doing YouTube because there's no way to go back to who's actually gone to the YouTube because it's de-identified.
Yeah, you're right. It's de-identified. We can see that you had 354 views.
Right,
So
but
that
if,
last,
but if you've had multiple people, you don't necessarily know that those are 350 unique people.
Yeah, you don't. They're unique.
No, not unique. I understand that.
yeah, so the last meeting, which was on the 18th, so far is 159 views.
Great.
We're live now.
Yep, we're back up and running.
Okay, so public hearing will accept comments until close of business tomorrow. I'm looking to, unless anybody from the commission wants to discuss, ask Steve any questions right now, or specific questions regarding the TOD. I would say if you're asking Steve a question and then Steve is going to answer, it'd be a good idea to, Steve, if it comes to you and then you CC all of us, or so that we all have the same information. And
Okay.
I'm gonna, we'll discuss this as, which we don't have a date yet, at the meeting where we're gonna talk about the North 7. So we're gonna add this item to that agenda and talk about it. But I'm not stopping anybody wants to discuss things right now as far as discussion point or question or whatever, feel free right now. Anybody in the commission?
Could I ask a question, please? This is Tammy.
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, I lost connectivity there for a while. Steve, can you please clarify what
We can't hear you. We
the
got
number of total apartments
Tammy, we
are going to be
cannot,
at?
Tammy, we can't hear you.
Yes. Oh,
Tammy,
cannot hear me
can you hear
still?
me? I think I got your question.
I'm trying.
What's the question?
I'm trying on my cell phone.
You sound
Yeah,
good now.
Can you clarify the number of total apartments if this was built out?
Yeah, let's hold on one sec.
I didn't hear. What's the question?
She's asking for the total number of potential units that could be built out. So there, in the zone we're talking about, which is the proposed village district, if you simply do a very rudimentary mathematical calculation and take that total area and divide it by the maximum density that they could potentially realize, which is 1 unit per every 825 square feet, you could get approximately 700 units. The consultant doesn't think that's a realistic number, and they're more in the 300 range. The other component to this was the proposed amendment which is to the industrial 1 zone, which would allow residential above the ground floor commercial. That in it itself is the difference between where people are getting the 1,300 unit scenario from. So that adds about another 600 units, a little less than that, but that's roughly it. So just keep in mind too that, you know, as we discussed, we're about to take the, you know, kick off the industrial zone study. So if you were concerned about density and thought of a, you know, potential compromise, we could remove that component as a recommendation within the zoning and just put it off to get looked at later on if that was something that, you know, people thought was a good compromise.
Thank you.
So, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes,
May I speak?
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so there were several comments, and we got, I think, a lot of emails referring to thousands of apartments, in a couple of cases, thousands of apartments. And also, we know the images that were circulated by the ENNA in a few of their notices showed high-rise apartment buildings, some of them Soviet style, you know, 8, 10 stories, some I think 12 story. And I think that's where a lot of people thought that we're turning East Norwalk into Stamford or South Norwalk. And I want to just clarify that that was misinformation that was deliberately spread. And I called it out and I've been attacked for it. But I just want to say that when you spread misinformation, you invalidate the criticisms that come, because people actually, a lot of people did mention tonight, they don't want East Norwalk to turn into Stamford, and there's no high rises. It's an extra story on a building. I mean, let's be realistic about this. And so I just want to say that there was misinformation. We know it. We have copies of all these photos that went out to basically frighten people that this was coming and all of these thousands of apartments were coming. So now we find out it's 700 units, might be possible another 600 units on industrial, which would help financially monetize those properties for the current owners. And I want to just mention one of the commenters earlier mentioned a design build business, if they could actually have a business and live on top of it, which was the intent from the consultant in the plan. Is that all correct, Steve?
Correct. Yeah, that was early on in the process when that was spread. I mean, and you know, to the positive point is it got people interested in the study we were working on. But on the negative side, I mean, there was an article in the Norwalk Hour. Someone put an op-ed in last week saying, you know, there was going to be 180 something units on the Mill Pond property, and I was like, well, unless they annexed about 4 other properties, that's not mathematically feasible. So I think, you know, sometimes once people get that in their mind, they kind of take that to heart and they disregard, you know, just the premise of the whole plan. I mean, to me, a 3.5-story building, that's, you know, you go to some of the surrounding, you know, single-family residential neighborhoods in Darien and Westport, and those houses are just as tall as what we're proposing on East Avenue, which is walking distance to a Metro North Main Line train station. So it's a little, I don't know, it's hard to reconcile it.
Well, I don't know the motivation to intentionally mislead people, except to appeal to emotion and to get people riled up. And so I think that we need to deal with facts here, and we need to deal with reality and not deal with misinformation that we could hear it from people. I mean, somebody even said there might be 800 units on Mill Pond. Somebody said that tonight, that we're proposing possible 800 units of housing on Mill Pond when it's, I think, 87. Apparently, I think that's a maximum number mentioned. So anyway, I just want to say there's a lot of misinformation floating around there, and we are trying to listen to everybody and take it in and filter out the comments that are coming from propaganda.
May I make a comment?
Go
Fran?
ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Steve Kleppen, I don't know how much extra work it would be, but I definitely saw coming through loud and clear that people felt like they weren't being heard. And I'm wondering if on the website, there could be a list of frequently asked questions that might be able to give accurate information about some of this density, as well as you definitely got some repeat themes. And I think that you had answers that you'd given thought to, that at least people would feel like they're being heard and you can put an answer to it. And also, I think being really clear about what the process was, and I agree with Brian's earlier comment about giving a sense about how much input there has been. But I'm just thinking that it would be a good idea to acknowledge people's questions. And I think that there are thoughtful answers to it. And you're not going to necessarily convince everybody, but it just seems like the most appropriate way to respond to make sure that people feel like their questions are getting answered.
Yeah, I can put something together and circulate it around too if you want a list of ideas. At one point, I almost was thinking of doing an op-ed and putting it in the papers, but I was like, then I don't know. I pluses and minuses with that too. But wherever you want to do, I'm fine.
Fran, may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I support Mary, and I'd also suggest, as I've done in email to you today, Steve, the more we can quantify, get the real numbers on the table, as you did on that first set of slides, which I thought were very good, including the number of people who participate, or the number of persons we have present, even though they're not unique people. We can't do that. It's just interesting. And the basic logic of the TOD, which is, as you said, and I think it's worth saying again, yes, increased density near stations for many reasons. So it also produces the livable but vibrant center which we need, especially if you concentrate it totally on East Avenue. We now need to rework the cemetery area as best we can, as Mike, maybe it's roundabouts. That area from there, what's south, except for the Wells Fargo site, is a lovely area to live in, and that's why where most of these people come from. And if you hear many of them, there are some who have been very recent, but many of them are 40 and 50-year residents. So I applaud them, and the only downside to this is possible congestion, few more people. What's the real size and number of those new people? What could it be on the actual density we're talking about? And then really, what is it like if you had 50% of that, which is the probably most you're ever going to get developed over 10 years or whatever number you care to add. But let's get some numbers out there so we can quell a lot of this. And Mary's point very much that you've answered lots of these things, but let's have them in writing in almost one document. And I think an op-ed would be very good as well. If you want to draft it, I'll basically put it in for you if you feel it's inappropriate for the director to put it in.
No, I think that's the cat's out of the bag at this point, so I might as well just do it myself.
I thought that might compromise you. Great, go for it, Steve.
Well,
No, I have done that in the past and in other things I've done. I just, it's the funny thing is in the last 5 years, the platform has changed so much. So I never like, not to, which is good because Nancy on Norwalk gets a lot of good comments and it informs me about what people are thinking. But I don't want to ever get to the stage where I'm spending half my day just going back and forth trading barbs with somebody about something where I think they're wrong. So I'm trying to not get to that.
I don't think Mary or I were either suggesting is trading barbs. There were certain things that are coming through which need to be, you gave good answers. I mean, it's probably 1 page worth of good stuff with some real numbers which lays the data on the table for people, like your first 4 slides, a little bit more numbers around those slides.
Okay.
And Steve, once you get that done, I would be happy to write something for the paper, just sort of saying what the process has been like and how we're trying to be responsive. So once you get those questions up, I think it would be fine to, or Fran could do it, but I mean, just to tell people that we've heard
No,
loud and clear that people want to be heard.
I think Steve can cover all of the above without anybody else. Let's have one thought process. So Steve, if you're going to put something in, then address process and numbers and whatever, instead of having fragmented inputs. I prefer one.
So you're the man, Steve.
Okay, I'm on it.
And,
Okay,
and to be clear, the city, in this case, is the applicant. So this is not like a developer coming forward with an application where it would be inappropriate for either commissioner or the staff to comment. This is a different situation. This is a planning application, I guess. Is that correct, Steve? If that was a proper way to phrase
Right.
it. So
Yep.
this is really from, and the city charter is very clear that the planning commission is tasked, which is something I take to heart, but a lot of us may forget at times, and sometimes I forget it. But the city, it's actually the state, whatever they call it, the code, the law, state law states that state statute is for planning commissions to educate the public on items that are in the POCD. So this would fall into that category. So part of it is education. And so our discussions, your editorial, et cetera, would be something that we're using to educate the public about what's in the POCD. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Nope. Fran stepped out. That's a very surreal shot.
sorry, I had to step out a second. Did you have a question for me?
Nice paneling.
Very good.
No,
Are we ready?
I don't think anybody has a question for you, Fran. I think it's just the next item. I don't know.
Okay, well, what I have here is, we talked about that this item is gonna be on our agenda whenever that, Steve looks at everybody's dates and we schedule the next meeting, which will address the North 7 and this issue. So now we go on to the transportation and the 824 referral. Transportation, mobility and parking, it's the Norwalk River Valley Trail Construction Connection from Union Park to New Canaan Avenue. Is anybody on, or are you guys are it?
We have Mike from TMP here to go over it.
Okay, Mike, go ahead.
Hi, Commissioners. Thank you for hearing me tonight. Put before you is what we kindly refer to as the missing link. It's a piece of Norwalk River Valley Trail that'll connect the existing section at Union Park, that ends at Union Park, to the section up on New Canaan Avenue alongside the northeast facilities there on the river. This is being funded by the under a grant from Federal Highways. It's an 80-20 grant. The feds will pay 80% of the cost. The city is paying the other 20% of the cost. And I don't know if you have any other questions on the trail. I'd be happy to speak to them.
I'm looking at them. I'm looking for the things that I printed, which I might not have printed that one. I printed the city sidewalk one. Was there I think, and maybe I don't remember correctly, is there a gap in funding? You need more funding? I remember 600,000 from the capital budget. Then you had the grant. Is there, are you asking for any more money of the city?
No, we're not asking for any money at this point. We'll be advertising for bids, hopefully in about a month from now. Right now, we have enough to cover the anticipated expenses.
I'm gonna write that down. So when you come back in January, I'm gonna pull out my notes.
Okay.
For the
Sounds
capital
like a very good deal to me, Chair. Completes the link, gets it done with federal funding with the gap already approved by us at the capital level. Excellent.
Yeah. Any comments from anybody? Questions? So Steve, we can take a vote right now?
Yeah, he went to the bathroom, but you can.
Okay, so I know I know you sent the resolution, but I guess I didn't print it out here.
That's right. I
So-
pulled it up on the screen for you.
All right, so I move that we accept the resolution as stated for approval. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions?
I didn't hear Tammy. Is she on?
Yeah, I'm here, but I can't, I seem to get connected.
We were just voting on the North River Valley Trail item.
Yes, I'm listening, but I don't think you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
Now,
So are you
Can,
with it or
okay,
not?
great.
Okay, so
I-
hearing
need
no
a record
nays,
of your vote.
we have a unanimous vote. Okay?
Okay.
Brian,
Yes, Can
You
I
good?
just take the second question?
I-
Mike Yosak, if you're still there, do you have any update on,
yeah, but listen,
Um,
hold on. We just voted. I asked for comments before, so
I
this-
was trying, I couldn't get unmuted or whatever the problem was.
did you
Never
vote?
mind, all right, I'll ask in private. Yes, I voted in favor.
Okay, so no, it's not a thing of asking him in private. We voted, we recorded the vote. Is Mike still on?
I'm still here.
All right. You want to ask your question? Tammy?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
go ahead.
Mike, has the connection been made or plans to be made up by the Merit 7 and the end of the connector?
Yeah, they are working on it with Wilton. I know the plans are pretty much ready, and I think they're looking to try to get something under construction this year. I'm not 100% sure where it stands as of today, but I can certainly check on it for you.
Okay, yeah, I mean up by where the development at the top of Glover Avenue by the DMV, is it gonna go? I think we talked about it a little bit with the Merit 7 project.
Yeah, there's the Willwalk portion, which would go from kind of like where the grist mill intersection
Mhm.
is. It would run up
Mhm.
through Wilton up to I'm trying to think of the first street up in Wilton there.
Like Kent Street or something.
Kent, yeah.
concerned. Yeah, okay. I'm most concerned about by the end of the connector where people drop down onto Main Avenue right by the DMV, because that to me is the most dangerous place for
Yeah.
anybody to be crossing.
Yeah, we've been kind of working with the DOT on that. That'll probably still be a little bit of a while off, but it looks like they're trying to find some funds for it. So
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the another 824 referral. This is the construction of ADA compliant City Hall campus sidewalks. Anybody have any questions on that one? Okay, hearing none, I move that we accept the I'm lost the word now. That we move this forward as an approval and accept the resolution as is. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Second,
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Is Steve Ferguson still on?
Yeah,
No, he was having he lost power, I think, so.
no.
Just for the record, so that we have, when I said, I don't know if he voted before, we said unanimous, and for this vote here, if Steve's not on, so it's 6 people. John Lesko still on?
No, John lost power too.
Cool. Wow.
So we gotta be careful on, what's the vote? Is the vote 6? What is it? Who do we have?
It'd be the
You're
5.
five.
And I don't know if Tamara's still on or if she's kind of in limbo too because of the power.
Her
For the
name's on the
record-
list.
Sorry, go ahead. Mary,
I was just going to say her name's on the list, tomorrow's name.
No, Tamara just spoke, so, and she voted before.
Okay.
So the only thing is, I think we're missing John Lesko and Steve Ferguson. Right? So we have 6 votes. Brian, Steve, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, yep.
Got that down? Okay. So next,
and I wanted to just say something real quick.
go
The
ahead.
second taxing district did not lose its power. My husband is chairman. I just want to leave it at that.
So what's going on with the electricity then? Anyway.
I don't know, but we have power in South Norwalk.
We have power in East Norwalk as well.
All right, so we took the 2. Are we good with the 2 votes, Brian?
Yes, yep.
All right, so next on the agenda is the capital budget schedule. Steve, I
Yeah.
thought we had put this, we had put this to bed, or not, or am I
Yeah.
thinking of?
I'm not sure if we quite ratified it, but unless I hear something different, your meeting starting in 2021 calendar year will be the second Wednesday of every month.
So you're gonna send that out as the official, not right now, but you'll send out the second Wednesday, you'll send us the schedule, right?
Correct. Yeah, you'll approve your meeting schedule probably at your November meeting.
Okay. Okay, very good. I don't know if Tammy Langalis can speak, or Steve, anything new on the industrial zone study update?
I don't know if Tammy has responded to my doodle poll on a meeting, because we're trying to get a meeting together in the next 2 weeks. I'm waiting for a couple people. The Consultant is moving.
Yeah, my bad. I don't think I have responded to your doodle poll. Sorry, there were too many options.
She probably ignored your doodle poll like I did, because I don't know what this is and moved on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pick a
she
date and I'll try to
ignored the
be
other
there.
doodle poll too, I noticed.
You hear what
Sorry.
she said? You hear what she said? Pick a date and she'll deal with it.
Right.
Okay, anything else? So there's no update on that one? Just trying to meet with the consultant or what?
Yeah, so I have a call with them. I can't remember if it's tomorrow or Wednesday. And then we're going to format the setup for the first meeting, which at the first meeting will really just kind of lay out the groundwork of how they're going to go forward in terms of schedule, public outreach, and meetings, those kind of things.
Okay, I think I messed up with the A. A is the capital budget schedule, not our planning commission meeting schedule. What did you want to say about the capital budget schedule?
I think, what I started to say, I think that was just kind of a incorrect wording on the agenda. That was meant to be your meeting schedule, not the, it was originated from the capital budget concern. That's why it got labeled that way.
Yeah, because Angela wanted to change meetings because of conflicts and whatever. This aligns much better with the BET, finance, and everything else, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Approval of minutes. Is everybody ready to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I move that we accept the June 16th meeting minutes as they are. Do I have a
Second.
second? Who's second?
Tammy.
Tammy, okay. We got 2 Tammys. We're gonna have to,
No,
Uh,
Tamara and Tammy.
no, it's okay, as long as we'll get there. Steve, you have is somebody taking minutes, right? Diane taking
Yeah,
minutes?
Diane is right there.
Okay, Diane, all right, so we approved the June 16th meeting, minutes. We're moving on to the July 21st. Any comments on that one? Okay, I move that we accept the July 21st, 2020 minutes as they are.
Second.
Have a
Tammy
second?
Langelis.
Okay, seconded by Tammy Langalis.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And now we're moving on to the August 18 minutes. Anybody have any comments on that one? Okay, I move that we accept August 18, 2020 minutes as they are.
Second,
Who seconded it?
Tammy Langallis.
Okay. All right, we're done with the minutes. Comments of the director.
So just to give you kind of backtracking a little bit on the trying to get the meeting date for the North 7 application. The leading contenders right now are Tuesday, September 1st and Wednesday, September 2nd. Tammy and Fran, do those 2 dates work for you?
Yeah, I can't check because I'm using my phone right now. So I'll write it down and then,
One sec, I'll let you know.
I haven't heard
What
from
time is-
Steve
What,
or John yet,
time
so
is that?
I emailed them separately and I'll try to confirm with them tomorrow for sure.
we're gonna
sorry,
start,
what, Tuesday the 1st, or what was the other one?
Wednesday the 2nd,
I can, and those are evening, right?
correct.
Yes, I can do either one.
Okay.
Thank you.
is everybody good with either one or we have, I don't know, Steve, if you want to send
Yeah.
something tomorrow saying which is
Yeah.
better, I don't know.
Everybody agreed to those 2 dates. The other dates I proposed had some conflicts, so right now you have, if you could do those, Fran, you have 6 out of your 8. We would just need to, you have a quorum, so you could go forward either way.
All right, which one did everybody pick?
Both of those were equal.
All set.
I know, but I'm saying, what's the preference here, the first or the second?
Doesn't matter to me.
Steve, what's better for you?
Second,
Oh.
just saying.
All right,
go
if all things
I go
being
with
equal,
Diana.
we'll look for the second.
Ah,
Second's fine.
All right.
That's what-
I'll check with Steve and John tomorrow, see what they say. If we
Yeah.
can accommodate Diana, we'll accommodate Diana.
Thank you.
And and Diana is the most important person up here, right?
Thank you, Mike.
All right, so September 2nd at 6:30. We'll get notified, but unless we hear differently from you, Steve, we'll put it on our calendar,
Okay.
okay? Any other comments?
Not for myself, no.
Comments of commissioners? Anybody?
I'd love to know when more offices at City Hall are going to open up, if anybody has any insight.
A little bit. They are actually working on an appointment system, so you can make appointments to come in. I don't know the extent of every department, what they're putting forward, but they're working on that now, and they're hoping to roll that out very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? I have one. I was asked by the redevelopment, they're putting a working group or whatever they're called, Steve, I don't know, task force or oversight committee, I don't know, to do with the area around the South Norwalk train station. So Mary Peniston is going to be the planning commission representative on that group. And she'll be, Brian was on the East Norwalk and people before were on different ones. And so Mary will be representing us and giving us updates at our meetings when as applied. Okay, so thank you, Mary, for agreeing to serve on that committee. Okay, I don't have any other comments. Any last round? Does anybody have anything else to say? All right, since Tammy Langallis is having problems with her usual thing to do, Mike Mushak, I'm asking you to make the motion.
Oh, I make excuse me, I make the motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
I'll
All right.
second it.
Oh,
Okay, thank you, everyone. Be well. and
Night.
Same
Thank
to
you,
you, Fran.
you too. Thank you, Steve.
Bye
Thank
there.
you, Brian.
Bye-bye.